Good afternoon, fellow WGU graduates. It is an honor and a dream come true to speak in front of you today. This life is not without challenges, and I am sure many of you have overcome many obstacles to be here. I used to think that graduating from college was something that was beyond my reach. I was always a decent student in the midst of chaos. My parents abandoned my sisters and me when I was just 6 years old. So began my life of legal guardians, group homes, and eventually a foster home. I had very different worries than most of my classmates, and my life was pretty tragic in a million different ways. I lost myself in reading books. It was the only time I could escape the horrors of my own life. For the most part, I lived a pretend life where many of my friends didn't even know my circumstances. I just pretended to have super strict parents, ashamed and afraid to let anyone in. By the time I was 14 years old, my biggest worry was my future. Not in the traditional sense of colleges and careers, but with the knowledge that in 4 short years, I would age out the foster system and have to support myself. My biggest fear was living on the streets like my younger sister. By the time I was 16, she had ran away from her group home and dropped out of middle school before she had even completed her 8th grade year. Because of this, I soon had another worry, finding a job as a teen to help support her. This was my reality, and there was no way I could even think of earning a 4-year degree. I finally found a great foster family when I turned 17, but some bad choices on my part ended that for me. In spite of this, God always put people in my life that wanted to help and support me. I stumbled onto my career in the staffing industry at 18 years old. I answered an ad in the newspaper. So funny how recruiting has changed so much since then. I went for an interview and was hired on the spot. I struggled to find my purpose and to make the right choices with no real guidance to rely on. I became a young mom, and soon I was struggling to support my sister, my daughter, and myself. This is when my life really started to change. A kind and wonderful woman took us in, and I was finding some success at work and feeling a little bit less like a loser. At my next job in the same industry, I met my mentor. She took a chance on me and truly believed in me. She taught me everything she knew, and I started to experience some great successes in sales and started to finally get ahead financially. By the time I was 23 years old, I purchased my own home, with her guidance, of course. I moved up the ranks at work and eventually married my soulmate and grew my family. Through all of my achievements, the regret of not completing my degree nagged at me. I knew I could do it, and I wanted to lead my children by example, but I didn't want to spend their college savings on my education. Working in the employment industry, I understood the value of a college degree. Through my research, I found WGU. It seemed to be what I was looking for, and above all, I didn't have to sell a kidney to attend. The next 4 years were the toughest of my adult life. Luckily, they were still a cakewalk compared to my childhood, so I kept moving forward with the dream of one day graduating from college. I know some of you finished way ahead of plan, but I finished just 3 months shy of 4 years. I know people like to say online school is easy, but I can honestly say that is not at all true. When I started my studies, I had over 15 years of staffing, business, and human resources experience, but found myself learning something new every single day. It isn't just about having a degree. It's about becoming a true expert in your field, no matter what it is. It's about having the book smarts to back up your street smarts. I know it took you all so many sacrifices to be here. I know so many of you have stories of hardship and struggles. We don't get to choose our parents or where we came from. We don't get the opportunity to opt out of heartbreak or tragedy. We all had to play the hands we were dealt. I can honestly say I am no longer ashamed of what I have endured. Regardless of the obstacles that you have faced, we all made it here today, and our success does not end here. This is the part where we get to take everything we learned and put it to good use. This is our time for a better life. The best is yet to come. Congratulations, Night Owls. We did it. We are class of WGU 2018.